hair growth industry is worth 8.5 billion, and most of it a scam. They know the products don't work, but they also know that you'll keep buying because you've been made to believe your thinning hair is a personal failure. I've got a chemistry degree and a background in finance. I've read the labels, I know the margins, and even I've fallen for it. This video breaks down the scam, the science, and the way out. And if you're ready to stop wasting money on false promises, I've made you a free hair care cheat sheet. It's in the description below. Let's unpack what actually works and how to stop pouring your confidence and your cash down the drain. Some of these products do work, but most don't. And they know that. The hair growth industry is worth over 8.5 billion, and it's built on selling women hope in a bottle, again and again. Serums, shampoos, supplements. They promise thicker, fuller hair if we just stick with it long enough. Spend a little more and stay consistent. But most of them don't treat the root cause of hair loss, and they are rarely backed by real science. Still, they're sold like guarantees. And when nothing changes, they let us carry the blame. We think that we've used it wrong, gave up too soon, or that maybe we're just the exception. That's the scam. Not just that these products often don't work, but that the companies already know that, and they sell them anyway. They profit from our quiet desperation and then leave us feeling like the failure. It's not just bad science. It's emotional manipulation disguised as self-care, and it's costing women more than just money. This isn't just about hair. It's about identity, confidence, control, and the quiet panic that comes when it starts slipping away. So we turn to the shelves. Serums, shampoos, supplements, the promise: thicker, fuller hair, fast. But the science, it just doesn't back it up. Most of these products don't actually treat the actual causes for hair loss. For many women, hair thinning is hormonal, driven by things like PCOS, perimenopause, thyroid issues, or chronic stress. But the majority of products on the market, they target the surface. Literally. Let's get specific. Here's what's actually going on with the stuff we're told will fix our hair. Most of the hair growth shampoos you see on the shelves are cosmetic, not therapeutic. Even if they contain active ingredients, they're rinsed off before they can absorb into the scalp. For any ingredient to stimulate follicles, it needs long-term, consistent contact, not a 30-second lather. And many of these shampoos contain things like caffeine, keratin, or peptides, which sound sciencey, but don't have any real clinical data backing their ability to trigger new hair growth. It's like paying 25 quid to wash your hair in hope. Biotin is everywhere, in gummies, pills, drinks, sold as the miracle for stronger hair and nails. But the thing is, biotin only helps if you're clinically deficient, which is rare. For the average woman with thinning hair, more biotin won't do anything. And high doses can even mess with lab test results for things like thyroid and heart health. It's not that biotin is dangerous. It's just another case of selling a one-size-fits-all solution to a complex personal issue. Rosemary oil is all over TikTok as the natural alternative to Minoxidil. And yes, there's one small study from 2015 that compared it to Minoxidil, but that study had a small sample size and was industry funded. There hasn't been much follow-up since. That doesn't mean it's harmful, but it does mean that we're building a £40 a bottle market off an inconclusive result. Natural doesn't mean effective, and influencer tried it isn't the same as peer-reviewed evidence. Laser caps, collagen, scalp scrubs, caffeine serums. These products use the language of science, stimulates blood flow, activates follicles, boosts collagen synthesis, but they rarely cite independent studies that show actual results. Laser caps do have some early research in men with pattern baldness, but they're expensive, inconsistent, and often promoted with cherry-picked testimonials. Collagen drinks, no proven link to hair regrowth. Scalp scrubs, good for product build-up, but they don't regrow hair. Caffeine serums, the research is minimal and mixed at best. These products aren't illegal, but they are misleading. They use scientific aesthetic to sell emotional relief. Minoxidil is the only over-the-counter treatment with solid clinical evidence for hair regrowth, especially in women with androgenetic alopecia, a genetic thinning. But it has limitations. You have to use it every day forever. It can take 3 to 6 months to see results if you see any at all. Side effects include scalp irritation, facial hair growth, and increased shedding in the first few weeks. So yes, it works, but it's not a miracle, and it's not what most companies are selling you. Most hair growth products don't work because they're not made to solve the real problem. They're made to sell the feeling of doing something. And for women taught that thinning hair means we're fading, that feeling is powerful enough to spend on. It's a bit like the emperor's new clothes, isn't it? Everyone's pretending these products work. No one wants to be the one to say, hang on, nothing's happening. And if you do say it, they make you feel like you're the problem, not the product or the promise. I want to be really honest here. I haven't lost my hair. I've always had fine, limp hair, and I've spent a lot of time and money trying to make it look thicker, fuller, and well, just more normal. But I still have hair. And if I started losing it, I genuinely don't know how I'd cope, because I hide behind mine. Even when it's flat or stringy or doesn't cooperate, it's still a kind of armor. So I can't imagine how exposed, how grieving it must feel to watch it fall out in clumps and not know if it's coming back. And then on top of that, having a multi-billion-pound industry turn your grief into a business model, that's just cruel. A major study in the British Journal of Dermatology found that hair loss in women causes real psychological distress, low self-esteem, social anxiety, even depression. And yet, instead of support, women get silence and £80 serums that rarely work. And because we live in a culture that treats women's hair as a symbol of youth, femininity, and control, losing it doesn't just feel like a cosmetic change. It can feel like you're losing yourself, like you're fading. And here's what no one says loud enough. Female hair loss is common. Nearly 40% of women experience visible thinning by age 40. We're taught to keep it quiet, like it's something to be ashamed of. But here's what I want you to hear, especially if you're in it right now. You are not broken. You are not less than. You are not unlovable. You are beautiful with or without hair. You are whole, even when the world tries to make you think otherwise. And the shame, the self-blame, that doesn't belong to you. That belongs to the industry that profits from your pain. So what do you actually do when you're fed up but still clinging on to the hope that the next £40 serum will finally work? First things first, you don't have to fix this overnight. You don't need to throw everything out or shame yourself for the stuff sitting in your bathroom cabinet. But you can stop letting these companies make you feel like you're broken. If you're losing your hair, speak to your GP. Push for bloods. Look into your hormones, your iron levels, your stress load. Because hair loss in women is often a health issue, not a cosmetic one. And no shampoo can solve that. If your hair's just naturally fine like mine, and you're caught in the cycle of buying volume boosting everything, maybe just pause. Remind yourself, this is what my hair is like. It doesn't need to be fixed. It needs to be accepted, or at the very least, not fought with every day. You don't have to stop trying. You just don't have to try so hard to be somebody you're not. There's a Japanese folklore about a firefly caught in a jar. It glows brightly at first, lighting up the space around it. But the longer it's trapped, the dimmer the light becomes, until eventually it just stops glowing altogether. And honestly, that's what this feels like. We're like fireflies in a jar, told that our glow, our worth, comes from what we buy, how we look, what we can fix. So we keep trying. We chase results, pour money into products, hoping to feel like ourselves again. But the longer we stay trapped in that jar, in shame, in spending, in someone else's definition of beauty, the dimmer we feel. The truth is, you were never made to live in a jar in the first place. If you've made it this far, thank you. Really. I know this topic can be heavy, especially if you're in it right now. Grieving your hair, your confidence, your sense of control. But you are not alone. You are not broken. You deserve better than overpriced promises and silent shame.